The Big Brother show actually derived its name from a book called 1984 by a man called George Orwell. In that book, George Orwell imagined a totalitarian state. Totalitarian means absolute dictatorship where subservience and total submission is expected of the people. Now, there are two very troubling observations that you need to make about this current Big Brother show that goes on every time. First observation, and I explained this in the other video, is that the insignia that they use for this eye is the evil eye of Horus. This is what they use for this, okay? They call it the evil eye of Horus. Don't mind what other people tell you that it is this about good luck or bad luck or whatever nonsense. It is the evil eye of Horus. That thing is not a good symbol. It's a very deep occultic symbol, even used in invocation of spirits. And that's a topic for another day. That is what has become the insignia for the Big Brother show. And so seeing that insignia takes me back to 1984 by George Orwell, where people kept arguing after the book was written, wondering why did the Big Brother not show up? Why didn't we get to see Big Brother? Who was he? Who could he be? Was he a spirit? Was he a man? Was he a character? Was he this? Was he that? Well, from what is happening in the Big Brother show right now, it's very, very obvious and clear, and I know it already from research, that the Big Brother they're talking about is Lucifer, manifested in the form of the Antichrist. So you see, what is going on with the Big Brother show is that they are trying to condition the masses. They are trying to condition the global population to what life will look like when the Antichrist shows up. There's something they call social engineering. So with Big Brother show, they are trying to socially engineer the masses to get people to get used to something. If you want to know where social engineering has worked very well, look at a place called Nigeria. In Nigeria, the British and the colonial masters have succeeded in raising or creating a place where you have the highest concentration of dumb people on earth, the highest concentration of glorified ignorant people. People who are ignorant are happy that they are ignorant, and they don't even know that they are ignorant. That is social engineering. This is what the Big Brother show is meant to do. It's a man called Benjamin Creme. Benjamin Creme, I think, is late now. He actually claimed at some point, he claimed that he was the mouthpiece or the forerunner of the Maitreya Buddha. Maitreya Buddha is supposed to be the Antichrist, okay? And so he said he was the forerunner. And he said that when the Antichrist finally manifests in his physical self, that he's going to be speaking to humanity telepathically.
He will not speak, not say a word, but his thoughts, his ideas will be heard inwardly, telepathically, by everybody in the world, everybody above the age of 14. So if you're 14, you're Slovenian, you'll hear him in Slovenian. If you're Russian, you'll hear him in Russian. Americans in American, English in English, French in French, Dutch in Dutch, and so on. He will come into telepathic rapport with every adult in the world, and each of us will hear him inwardly, telepathically, in our own language.
So you can see, just like the Big Brother, he was speaking to people almost telepathically because he had to control what you're thinking, he had to control what you're doing, and then you are also constantly reminded that he is watching you. That's why in the Big Brother show, the camera is watching everything they do. And now, because Big Brother speaks to them telepathically, which they don't know in that show, there's a lot of evil that is introduced into this show every time. You see, our society every day is confronted with the profanities that proceed from this show, and people don't see anything wrong with it. Look, I'm not trying to run your life for you. I'm not trying to make a choice for you. It's up to you if you decide to watch it. But I'm telling you that the spiritual implication of the Big Brother show outweighs anything you can ever imagine possible. That thing is so deep, and a lot of people don't know. Of course, immorality is already very rampant and common in the show. You see people making love, having sex every time in the show, and they call it after hours. I don't watch that show. I scroll on my Facebook page and see people post video. I can't even see it. Oh, they're making love. I can't watch that nonsense. I have never, from the first time I saw Big Brother show, I never liked it. But you see, they are introducing all this. They're going to introduce homosexuality. They're going to introduce bisexuality. They're going to introduce all kinds of ills through that show. Because what will happen in the show is going to be dependent on what the Big Brother telepathically transfers to the people who are in the show. People do not know that the guys who are in the Big Brother house are actually under demonic possession. That is why in the book, the Big Brother is not seen. You hear a voice talking to you, but you can't see the person, and you're not asking, who is this person talking to me? And then you cannot connect it to the insignia that you're having as the symbol of the show. Tomorrow you wake up and say, hey, my husband is struggling with pornography, my children are struggling with pornography, but you went to DSTV or whatever it is you use in Africa and you signed up for the Big Brother show and it is beaming live into your home. You get addicted to it, you talk about it every minute, it's like an obsession right now, and you watch all those things, and when you're not there, your teenagers and younger ones are watching this complete lunacy. This absolute rubbish. There's nothing they're doing. They fight and they introduce evil. They make love and they insult God. And at the end of the day, it goes into your home and you go to church on Sunday and praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. And you come out and tell me that you are a Christian. Look at the people who patronize the Big Brother show. 90% of them are Christians who go to church. What are you learning from the show? Like I said, I'm not trying to run anybody's life for them. But what morals are you picking up for this show? This is a satanic show with a very deeply satanic Luciferian origin. And that's why I had to go back to the book. If you doubt me, pick up the 1984 book by George Orwell. That's the first place it was mentioned. And everything he described in the book as a Big Brother, totalitarian who will control everything you do, that is there. The Antichrist is coming. He's going to control you telepathically. He's going to control what you're thinking. He's going to control the way you move, everything. Look at the way they are already putting cameras everywhere. Your life will be monitored. You're making love to your wife, it will be monitored. You want to think straight for yourself, they will tell you, no, you can't think straight. They already have a chip in your brain so they can control what you think. This is what they are telling you with Big Brother show. You cannot do what you have to do as a person. You do what the Antichrist wants you to do. Social engineering. They want people to get so used to it that when eventually the Antichrist introduces it, you will not see anything wrong with it because you've seen it so many times. This is what the Big Brother show is aimed at accomplishing. You are a Christian. You're the one I'm talking to. The people who don't see a problem, any big deal with it, they can go ahead and watch it. Like I said, in this present day and age, you can't run people's life for them. Anybody can make a choice. But you are a Christian. I want you to give me 1, 2, 3, 4 reasons why you should be watching the Big Brother show. If you can't, why don't you just turn it off?